Hello, Internet family. We're back again. New episode of The Doc is In. I'm so happy that you've suffered with me through 5 episodes. Today's episode is going to be one that's, again, pretty personal, but not as, maybe not as emotional. It's titled I'm Angry. Um, I realized some time ago that I was dealing with anger issues. And I see it so often. And especially when I worked in the prison setting, I saw no less than 300, brothers and, and I say brothers of, all backgrounds, um, who were experiencing bouts of anger, and all of them told me the same thing. Hey, doc, I got anger management issues. I got anger management issues. I've heard that so many times throughout my career, it's ridiculous. So, first off, I want to talk to you guys about anger, okay? Anger is not a primary emotion. So, when you say you have anger management issues, it's incorrect just by the definition. You can't have something that is secondary. So, your anger management issue is not anger. Your anger management issue is jealousy, sadness, maybe embarrassment. It can be any number of things, but anger cannot just be anger. Think about the verbiage when people say, well, what made you mad? Or why are you mad? Either of those, it's indicative of a precipitant. So something had to happen before you got mad. So when you're saying I have an anger management issue, that's not accurate. What you're really dealing with is probably sadness, which is usually about 80% of the time. That's what you're dealing with, is some type of sadness. But sometimes it can be embarrassment or jealousy or disappointment or you name it. But I really had to work within myself to find out what was going on. And for me, a lot of my anger came from disappointment, um, either, in someone or something, the way maybe something turned out. A lot of sadness from, usually some type of loss as well. So I want to also talk to you a little bit about what anger looks like. You know, Anger for different people looks very different. For some people, anger is like I'm quiet and I'm brooding, and I'm just kind of keeping things to myself. That's for a lot of people that could be anger. For some people, it's the snarky comments. I'm just gonna make a million like snarky comments and be, as they call it, nice nasty, where I'm going to smile at you, but I'm basically going to say something to you that's going to be rude or like undercutting. Or it could be something that's just super obvious, like loud. Like I'm loud, I'm defensive, I'm just trying to back you down and get you away from me. And usually when you get that type of anger, it usually means the person is scared. In real life, they're scared. Because if every little thing requires this huge reaction and I'm blowing up at you, the reason why I'm doing that is to get you to back down. Because think of it, like when you're fighting a bear, people always say, you do one of two things. Either you lie completely dead or you try and make yourself look bigger than the bear. Either way, if I see a bear, I'm running, but that's neither here nor there. The point is, when you're dealing with anger issues, what you should really be doing is figuring out, why are you this angry? Did something happen and how did it make you feel? So before I jump to, cursing, yelling, pointing, screaming, why am I reacting this way? Like, am I disappointed? Am I embarrassed? A lot of times it's embarrassment. When people turn up to 10, you are either embarrassed or scared. That's it every time. And I will bet my last dollar on that. If everything you do turns you up to 10 and you're yelling, you're screaming, you're acting common, you're probably embarrassed or scared. It's one or the other. Um, I've learned that usually when people are in that space and if you have to deal with it, my thing is disengage. I will always tell you, if this is when we start setting those positive boundaries. If you're gonna keep yelling, then I can't talk to you. If you're gonna, curse at me, then I can't talk to you because I'm not gonna be disrespected because you're trying to work something out within yourself. Um, Always remember that when especially, and I'm going to say this, and this is a personal statement. I don't have patience for people who say rude, hateful, things and then try and apologize and say, oh, I was angry. That don't fly. Like, point blank period. Like, I didn't get angry and stab you in the chest and apologize. You can't get angry and yell and curse at me and then think for the next 5 minutes we're gonna be cool. We're not gonna be cool. Your apology, especially for adults. I mean, look, if you're a grown person, your apology really amounts to a butthole on my elbow. I can't do nothing with it. Like, I don't need it. It's superfluous. It's doing nothing for me right now. So I want to just point that out. Figure out what's got you so bent out of shape. Because if you figure that out, you can solve your own anger issue. I just saved you thousands in therapy, okay? I just saved you that in roughly 5 minutes and 40 seconds. Figure out what's going on. What's eliciting this response? Because it's not just, oh, well, she called me a name. Okay, really? She called you a name, so you snapped and threw a brick at her? Come on now, that don't even sound right. You got to do better than this. You know, it cannot be what it looks like. There has to be more there. And I will always encourage you guys, dig a little bit deeper. If you're looking at your anger and you know yourself that is getting out of control, dig deeper and figure out what's up. Don't have your kids coming up like, mama always get mad around this time of the month. Daddy came in, mama snapped, threw a shoe at him. Don't, like, that shouldn't be the things that your kids see. And also, your kids should not have to hear you berate the other parent because you're angry. Like, that doesn't, and it don't make it better when you apologize. So again, for your sake, for the sake of everybody in your house, for the sake of the people that have to interact with you, figure out what's going on with yourself and figure out how to cope with or figure out what's at the root of your anger, because you'll be better for understanding what triggers you. What is it? Is it sadness? If it's a depression, sorrow, whatever, let's figure that out. um Again, the best thing I can tell you is get to the root cause, because at the root cause is the answer to your solution. Again, love yourself, love someone else today. You're worth it and you are enough as you are. Remember that. You are enough just as you are. Love yourself, love somebody else. We'll all be better for it. Thank you for joining me today.